Hey guys, welcome back. My name is Avinash, and in this video, I'm going to talk about Azure Active Directory. So, I hope you guys know what exactly Active Directory is or ADDS, Active Directory Services. So, basically, if you want to manage all the your network objects like users, devices from a central location, you can take a server or you can take any machine. So you can install Active Directory services, and you can add users and the computers as objects to the directory, and you can manage that from a central machine called Active Directory. So here, when coming to Azure, we have a service called Azure Active Directory. So basically, this Azure Active Directory is a cloud-based identity and directory management service. So basically, this we use to enable access to different Azure services. Not only Azure services, we can use it with some software as a services like Microsoft 365, or you can integrate with Dropbox or Salesforce. So basically, this Azure Active Directory also offers some self-service options like password resetting and authentication, device management, single sign-on, such type of options it supports. So now you might get it out. So we can launch a VM and we can install Active Directory within that VM. And can we call it as Azure Active Directory? So the answer is no. So Azure Active Directory is a managed service. So you really no need to launch any VM to manage this. Okay. So but when coming to the ADDS, yes, you require a physical VM, a physical server or a virtual machine. So within that you can install Active Directory. Then you can use that services. So but this Azure AD, it's a managed self-service. And also, the primary difference between this Azure Active Directory and ADDS is the queuing protocols. Basically, uh, ADDS works with a protocol called LDAP, Lightweight Direct Access Protocol. So, but when coming to this Azure AD, it works with HTTP or HTTPS protocols to queuing. And also, ADDS uses Kerberos authentication. Of course, we can use it for federation purpose. ADDS, we can use it for federation purpose, but it won't support any third-party services. But when coming to Azure AD, we can use multiple authentication methods like SAML authentication, Debless Federation, OpenID Connect, and it uses OAuth for authorization purpose. And also it supports like a federation to third-party applications. So you can log in to Facebook by using this federation credentials. So these are the primary differences between ADDS and Azure Active Directory. Now, when coming to this Azure Active Directory, it have three license types. So let's click on, or you go and you search Azure Active Directory. So when you navigate to Azure Active Directory, you can find here license option. So basically, we have multiple licensing options. So at moment, I'm under like uh, pre support plan, like pre subscription. So it's showing as Azure AD free. But along with that, we do have Office 365, Azure Active Directory Premium P1, and Azure Active Directory Premium P2. So, so this P2 is going to give lot of options. So even like we have some options like a self-service password reset where uh, no user can contact IT team for password reset. So there is a self service portal where we can navigate and we can provide our credentials, and we can get one-time password to our mobile or associated email, and we can set password. So such type of premium options we have with this P2. And currently I'm using this Azure Active Directory free. So you can navigate here and you can find that under license. Right, if you want to compare all this, just scroll down a bit and here you can find if you're using P2, you're going to get authentication, single sign-on and multi-factor authentication with this P2 as well as P1. If you are with Office 365 or if you are with Azure Active Directory free, so you won't get this option. So you can even have application access. You can expand and you can find like SaaS app, SaaS application access, O authentication or SAML authentication. So these are supported by all, but group assessment to applications is supported by only P1 and P2, and some cloud Microsoft Defender and cloud apps that supported when we are on P1 and P2 only. So similar way we have basically P2 is a premium one. It gives all the options available with Azure. So we are with this Azure Active Directory free. So that is absolutely fine. There is no issue with this free one also to learn this Azure AD. So now within this Azure AD, the first thing we need to create users. So we can go and we can start creating users here. So these users now they can log into this Azure portal. Click on new user. So there is an option create new user and invite external user. So the difference between this new user and external user is, for example, the user you are creating is for your corporate user, right? So you can use the first option and so the user ID you're going to create now is not for your corporate user. He's like a contractor or a temporary user, or he collaborated, a different organization user collaborated with your organization for temporary POCs. So then we can invite an external user. Whenever you click on invite an external user, so you need to provide his email address. That is a mandatory. So we can invite user. So he need to complete a basic sign up process. You can give what is a personal message you want to give. So you can give or you create one and you share these credentials with that user. So that is one option. And the under users, the first option is create new user. Click on create new user. Now, here you can create a user or you can invite if you already. So let's click on create a user and I'm going to call this user as Avinash 1 and the name I'm going to call this user as Avinash Reddy as a name, and this username is available, so we are not allowed to give any duplicate usernames. And this um, identity will create automatically whenever we sign up for Azure. So you can give first name, last name, those are not mandatory ones. And auto-generated password. So you can go and whatever the password is generating here, you can share this password for this user, or you can set up a manual one and you can share that. Let me go with the auto-generated password. All right, let me copy this and for temporary purpose. All right, so then do you want to add this user to any of the groups and do you want to block sign in and what is a user's location that we will come later, and what is a job title, what is a department. For example, this guy is IT admin department. So then you can create. All right, this department will play some important role whenever you're using dynamic user type. So whenever we change this department, he's going to be part of different group. So, okay, let's don't worry about that now. Just click on create. So now a new user got created. So this is creating a single user. It will take a minute or two. But if you have lot of users and you want to log in um, or you want to add n number of the users here. So if you want to perform any bulk operation, here we have an option called bulk operations. When you click here, you have an option bulk create, bulk invite, and bulk delete. So let me click on this bulk create. So there you can see we have an option called download. There is a CSV file. It downloads to our local machine. Just open that CSV file. So they are giving some examples here. So whatever the user you want to create, so you need to give the username here and along with the principal name and what is the password you want to give. You want to block sign in. So these three fields are mandatory. First name, last name, these all fields are not mandatory. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to give display name as uh, test user one, and I'm going to call his username as Avinash 2, and we can give at the rate and whatever this principal name we have. So here you can find primary domain. So you can copy this and you can give that here. And what is the password you want to give? So I'm going to give temp and block sign in. Now I'm going to create another user. I'm calling it as a test user and I'm calling uh, Avinash 3 at the rate. So then pasting it. Um, 345 block login. I'm going to set it to no. All right, so once this file is ready, so then you can simply go and select this bulk operations, bulk create. You can click on upload your file. So what exactly file you have, you can go and take that file, and that the file must be in CSV format. Somehow it's not saved. I want to export it to CSV, and I'm going to save it on top of my, I'm going to save it in downloads, then click on export, replace it. Now we can navigate here, navigate to downloads, and what exactly the file name, what is that file name? I actually forgot. Uh, where is it saved actually? User create template. Somehow I'm not able to find from here. User format. Ah, seems I'm facing some difficulties, but you can go here, you can simply select here, and you can choose the file. So then you can pick that. When you click on submit, automatically all the users you created there that will appear here. So in similar way, if you want to invite bulk, so same file, like in similar way, we are going to get a file, we can download, we can modify, and not only that, we can even upload like CSV files also. I mean, whatever the file you modified, you can upload that CSV file here, and you can get all the users here. So this is user management in Azure Active Directory. So when coming to groups below to the users, we have an option called groups. So we can create groups and we can add users to the groups, or we can add a group to another group also. So, but basically we have two types of groups. One is security group and second one is Microsoft 365 groups. So the difference between the security group and Microsoft 365 group is like security groups are designed to manage the permissions. So this Microsoft 365 groups, like it is for um, authentication for shared mailboxes or SharePoint or shared calendar, such type of purpose, we can use Microsoft 365 groups. So click on New Group, and there you can see it is asking for the group type, security or Office 365. I'm going with security. And what is the group name you want to give? So let me call this as a IT admins is a group name, and you can give a group description, IT admins group, and you want to add any members. So currently no members added. Click on members and you can search here. So whatever the users we have, like Avinash test user and all these users. For example, I want to add Avinash test user to this group, and I can click on select. Then I can click on create a group. So now the group got created. Right. So whenever you are um, creating this group, like whatever the group name you're giving, for example, finance, and you can give a group description. And here we have an option called membership types. So it is showing as a assigned. So along with this assigned, we do have another option called dynamic user. So basically, these are the premium features. When coming to this dynamic user or dynamic device, so whenever any user attribute changed, so then he will be part of the group automatically. So, for example, so initially we have a user, and this user is part of IT admins. So, but he got promoted to a different department. He moved to different department, like a finance department and all. So then, manually, what we need to do, we need to go to this user, and we need to go to specific groups, and we need to remove from this group. We need to add to another group. But instead of doing this manually, so we can choose an option called assignment type as a dynamic user. So then, based on the attribute it changed, um, you know, we can move user from uh, one group to another group, right? So that is actually dynamic user type. So we have these options under like this groups, but we need to have like a P1 or P2 for this. All right, so that's a very basic introduction to Azure Active Directory and users as well as groups. So we will deep dive into this in our coming videos. Thanks for watching this video, guys.